on. How we doing? How we doing, Pup? What, did you miss Dad all day? Yeah. And your breath smells like goldfish food. Why does it smell like goldfish food? Huh? Why does it smell like goldfish food? It smells so gross. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up? I'm just kind of getting everything ready. What is it, Pup? What is it, Pup? Definitely a needy one, aren't you? You can eat your food. You have food in there, bro. Well. I don't have any. No transcendent mods for this guy? Crazy. Village's here for Enduring Legacy. Amorphous. You like, I think 30 of them.
HQ here. Commence mission to recapture Slumber Valley. could hear him sizzling. Any character XP. Damn. Took 10 minutes. 10. Uh-oh.
I do
can I just got Enduring Legacy first try.
I am analyzing void paradox.
What's going on? What's going on?
Well, today is going to be the most important stream I've ever done, first of all. And I want to say thank you for doing this, seriously. Yeah. We're going to get some good ratings. Everyone thought this was going to be fake today, but, we proved them wrong. Thank you.
My son Baron says great game.
What's up, Baron? Yeah, Baron's awesome. Great kid. Amazing. Tall. Very tall. Yeah, he's very smart. I'll tell you that. I do want to first off say this. Everyone in the chat, everyone loves him. I just want to say you're a true hero for the country. We appreciate you. Yeah. Again, I'm really thrilled we could do this time. I do. So do you know what live streaming is on these platforms?
More or less.
Yeah.
It's the new way.
It's the new way. It's the way. I'm gonna explain it to you. Okay? So I'm gonna show you this chat. So this is a live chat. So you already broke the website. Yeah, you broke it. The chat wasn't working. The way to fix it is hello. Everyone in the chat say hello. You guys just put hi in the chat. W's mean good. W means win. Yep. So they're putting W's and stuff. Like W bump, right? So yeah, everyone's just super thrilled that you're happy. Yeah, I wanna break the million. You think so? Oh, I'm excited. I'm thrilled. Elon actually already he commented on the X post. Yeah, it's great.
Little Magic.
Yeah.
Rockets, tunnels,
Yeah.
everything.
He's great. So let's get started today. Let's have some fun. We'll touch base on some topics, and then we'll do some fun stuff. Cool? Sounds like a pod. All right. Well, the first thing is, the reason why I really want to make this stream happen is because a lot of people that are first-time voters watch. And I want to make it very clear to everybody that you're a human being, you're a great human being, and I want you to basically talk to this camera, talk to them, and explain why it's very important as a first-time voter to allow them to vote and why they should vote.
I'd love to do that. I don't know, having a young audience. I know. It's about the American dream. Right now, we don't have the American country not respected. A little while ago, market explosion in a negative way. That's been happening quite a while. It's been simmering and really happening for quite a while. And we're going to make this country so strong and so great. And when you're ready for your job, you're going to get a great job, so you can make the kind of money this guy's making, maybe even more if that's possible.
I'm trying to be like you, boss.
But you'll love your life and you'll be successful. And at a young age, it's really wonderful to think about the American dream. And with Kamala and Joe, I took him out. We had a debate, and the debate didn't go so well for him. And the sort of what they did, was really a coup. From 14 million votes, he had it, and all of a sudden they went to him and they said, we don't want you running anymore. And it's sort of like a flashback from my side. And all of a sudden you're fighting somebody else, but she's actually worse than he is. And you're starting to see that. I think people are going to see that it's going to be very evident. So go out, we want the American dream. We're going to give you the American dream, and you're going to be real happy. Thank you.
I have another question. And again, Mr. President, you know, I'm not really fully into politics, but, you know, I'm getting there. And I do want to make this very clear as well, that it's on my mind. You know, back when I was in, I went to high school in California, okay? And, you know, a lot of the teachers were basically at the time, you know, this is your first term. They were telling me how horrible a person you are and all these things. And the teachers, you're not supposed to do that. It's inappropriate to have teachers, you know, discuss politics in school. But it's becoming really normal for a lot of teachers. You know, and you're a kid. You know, when you're a kid, your brain is like a sponge. So I want to know what your thoughts on that. You know, kind of the corruption in the school system in a way. You know, they're teaching some pretty bad stuff in there.
It's been brainwashed to a certain extent. Even the teachers have been brainwashed. They've learned from a long time. It's long before me. This liberal way, or now they call it progressive. They don't like the term liberal. You're not allowed to use that anymore, so I usually use it. But this liberal way that they have, and it's a bad thing for the country. You know, we want to have borders. We want to have low taxes. We want to have great schools, really great schools, so you can go and learn and be successful.
Life should be better now.
Life and all of that, but we want to have a good military so we can protect ourselves
Of course.
from some bad players. And you know, it's interesting. During my 4 years, we had no war. Other than we had nothing. Everybody was afraid of wars. And just the opposite. North Korea. Remember Barack Obama's biggest problem? You know, big nuclear presence. The only war we had was already started long ago, and that was ISIS. We defeated it. Very short.
I remember.
And we have no wars. That's a great thing. And we won't have wars again, but we can have a war before we even get there. Number of months, 4 months, elections start soon. There's 5 months people come in. Write it down. All right. Saying that say it. The country's not only a stock market fresh, it's tremendous tourism. Israel's blowing up, the police is blowing up, Russia's going wild, and things are out of control, and we have nobody that I was watching, and they never would have done it, and they didn't. Never. After I got home, started loading up the border, I thought he was doing it. And Biden said all wrong things, everything wrong, and ultimately they attacked. They wouldn't have done that. We got to get back in there.
Definitely. 100%.
A lot of people died.
Yeah, it's a lot of innocent lives were lost. You know, you had mentioned, you know, the stock market crash. I don't know if you obviously, I saw the post in the truth. You know, what I just saw yesterday and the day before, you know, I'm in crypto, I'm in stocks myself, and I couldn't believe what's going on. You know, you have Japan, you have everybody just falling. And I want to ask you, you know, how do we basically get it back up and flowing, back up and running, and you know, what's causing this?
Well, right now you have no confidence. You have somebody that now is taking over. Biden just wants to stay. Let all go. He wants to stay. He would know it was a fraud. They tried to tell people he was competent, what he was. And in the debate, the judge, the not so.
Yeah.
But you can go back 4 years. He campaigned from the basement. He didn't campaign. He said, where is it during COVID? They used COVID as an excuse not to let him talk.
Yeah.
The whole thing was a fraud, and everybody knew it. They knew it strongly. And we're going to get it going. We have to get it going. It's put us in a very bad position. The worst thing is we have probably, I think, 20 million came into our country with open doors. And many come from prison. And you can be a liberal, and people can coming from some of the meanest people all over the world, not just South America, all over the world, from the Congo and Africa, they come all over the world, they're coming, and they're releasing their prisoners into the United States. Now, you can be a liberal guy, you can be progressive as anybody in the world, and you can't think that's a positive. They're coming out of mental institutions. They're pouring into the United States, and they're hurting and damaging the country. They're killing our people, and the crime rate with what you're talking about and what we're talking about, before migrant crime, it's a new form of crime, and it's a very violent crime, and it's going to take on proportions the likes of which this country has never seen before. And remember, these people are just getting accustomed. These are people coming out of mental institutions, prisons and jails.
He says the same thing every
and
time.
many terrorists. We're having record numbers of terrorists coming in. So
Which,
I'm talking, I
yeah,
assume,
they're important,
mostly
but-
to a young audience, but a young audience, no matter where they're coming from, they can't be happy about this.
No, they can't. Jobs are being taken. A lot of crime. So what President Trump? What do we do to fix that issue? What if I happen to be born in another country and I want to come the right way? How would that work?
Well, that's what we want. We want people to come in, but they have to come in through a system, through a legal system. One of the things that's unfair is we have hundreds of thousands of people that have applied to come in, and this administration doesn't talk to them.
Right.
But if they walk through the southern border, they have no problem getting in. I don't even know why they're doing this, but some people are waiting 10 years to come in, and they've studied, they learned all about the United States, about our Constitution, about everything, and they're not being let in, and we're allowing people to come in from really rough places, really bad places, and they come in through caravans. And these caravans have 10, 20, 30,000 people, and they're pouring through Mexico.
Crazy.
And Mexico was great when I was in. They were helping us. I had to stay in Mexico. You can imagine what that is. That means you have to stay in Mexico. You can't come into this country until we approve you. They gave it up. Now they just walk right in. They had catch and release. It's, you catch a criminal and you release him in our country. No. We catch a criminal and we release him into Mexico.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
It's one of those things. There's so many things. They are so bad, it's like amateur night. It's either amateur night or they want to destroy it.
Right. Do you what do you think about what's going on in Venezuela? The whole situation out there.
Well, I know it very well, and Venezuela is right now being run by a dictator. We're enemies with Venezuela. Was collapse. People could have gone back to our country. They've released tremendous numbers of criminals into our country. If you look at Caracas, known for being a very dangerous city, and now it's very safe. In fact, the next interview in Caracas as well is safer than many of our cities after criminals. I'm kidding.
I know.
The reason I have to say that because the fake news, he suggested we go to Venezuela. They are so bad, it's hard to believe. But anyway, so Venezuela, their crime is down 70% because they've taken their criminal elements abroad, very dangerous, especially Caracas and and they've moved them into the. I know you're very happy. I know that your mother and father are really.
Yeah.
Who happen to be there, I believe.
They're right over there. Mom and dad.
Are you thrilled? I don't think they're thrilled. I don't think so. So their crime rate is down 70%.
Right.
Because they're drug dealers, they're criminals, they're murderers, they're rapists. Everything's being moved into the United States. And soon they will have moved all of their criminals into the U.S. They won't have crime. So that's why I say we'll go to Venezuela for our next one. Okay. It's a very serious problem. I mean, honestly, what they're doing to this country, they're destroying our country, Aiden. They're destroying stupid people. He's not a smart man. He wasn't smart 35 years ago. He wasn't smart 20 years ago. And now he's really not smart.
No.
And you saw that from the debate. I mean, he's really gone down the tubes. And she couldn't even pass her law exam. She couldn't pass her bar exam. And I'm not saying that because I know other people didn't pass their bar exam, but she thought she'd never be able to pass it. And this is who we have running our country. It's a shame. She's ultra-left, ultra-radical. I just see where 99 vicious terrorists, when she was, I guess, Attorney General, because she was Attorney General of California, she destroyed California. Her policies have destroyed California. Her policies, when she was the district attorney, have destroyed San Francisco. San Francisco was the best city in our country 20 years ago. And now it's, not even, frankly, it's not even livable. We have to bring our cities back. We have to focus on bringing our cities back.
It's actually really sad. I lived in California for a long time. Even Los Angeles, it's not safe. it's not safe. Everyone I know that lives in multi-million-dollar, homes that do what I do, content, they're getting robbed. They're getting robbed. The police don't really, they're not active out there as they are in some other states, and it's really sad. And I agree. I saw a video in San Francisco where people just walk into a Louis Vuitton and an Apple store and just loot, and leave like nothing ever happened. It's crazy.
They loot, and not only that, they have like $1,000 or $1,500, which she started, where she won't even prosecute if it's less than $1,500.
Wow.
So you see these people go in with like calculators, and they're adding the stuff that they're stealing because they won't be prosecuted. So that if they get dabbed, they say, no, it's less than whatever it is, $1,000.
Right.
And she started the concept of that, and it's now spreading. Our country, we need strong leadership. We didn't have stuff like this. When you look at what's happened to this country, and you look at other countries, crime rates all over the world are down. You know why? Because they're all dumping their bad people, their prisoners, and all of the people that are bad. They're not only people on the streets, the people that are in jails. You know what they save by doing? But they're dumping their prisoners and their criminal elements. They're dumping them into the United States of America. And our crime is going to go through the roof. And, if we win, and I hope we win, and we should win, we seem to be winning, and, you can't even imagine that anybody would want these. This has nothing to do with me. Who would want these people? But can you imagine? They're just getting comfortable now, and they're criminals. So they're sort of laying low a little bit. They're not comfortable. Soon they'll be comfortable. And they'll find that our police they're great,
Yeah.
but they're not allowed to do this. They're not allowed to be strong, and they could do their job if they were but if they do their job, they have their pension knocked out, they have their car taken away, their family taken away, their house taken away, everything's taken away, and they lose their job. It's a very rough thing being a policeman today, I'll tell you, but they could do their job. We're going to have to let them do their job. We have a crime infested. We're a drug addicted nation, and we're a crime infested. Other than that, we're doing good.
Yeah. I want to move topics a little bit here. I saw, I'm unfamiliar with exactly what it was called. You were speaking on stage with 3 other women, and you just got ambushed. They were late, and not a hi, hello, how are you? Just straight into it, just straight trying to rip you apart. And I think you handled it pretty well, but I wanted to ask you a question, like, why do you think, like, they just straight up do that for you, but then they're going to ask the other side, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
That's right. Well, I did this as a favor, and this was the black journalists. The room had maybe 2,000. It said 2,000. It looked more like it was right?
Yeah.
And I did it because I thought it was a good thing to do, and I had a journalist, I didn't know who she was. Nasty, terrible person. And I walk in, and instead of saying, hello, thank you very much, they also said, Kamala's going to do it. But then Kamala said, she wants to do it, but she can't talk. She can't answer questions. She hasn't done one interview. She's not doing any interview.
Yeah.
Because if she did one interview where hard questions, she's incapable of answering. But I walk in, and this woman starts talking about, let's get rid of the elephant in the room. She starts talking about racism. I said, you didn't even say hello to me. And I'm doing them a favor by doing this. I'm doing this out of respect to the black community. And we're getting record numbers, as you know, the black community. And she came across, she's with ABC Fake News. One of the worst. ABC is one of the worst.
Right.
And she is horrible. So she was very nasty. Harris Faulkner was there. She was excellent. The other person I didn't know, she was okay. I wouldn't say she was great, but okay. But I did it, and it was quite a sensation. Actually, a lot of people think it was well handled. The woman was so rude that, it's hard to believe. You can walk into it, do them a favor, and do this. Most people said, why you? I feel I have an obligation. With it. You become the president for all of it, not for a certain segment.
Correct.
Not even for just they talk about my face, a very big face. But you become president for all of the people. So I feel you have an obligation to do that. Now, she's not doing anything. She's not doing any interview. Because I don't believe she's capable. It's strange. The whole thing is strange. Let's put it this way. Our country's in big trouble.
Yeah. I spoke to your son, Don Jr., when I met you in Doral.
Right.
I spoke to Don Jr. a little bit. He said, "Man, I feel for the young generation. You guys, look at this. Like, look what's going on here. Like, it's like you need these next 4 years. If not, I don't." He's like, "I don't know how well the country's gonna do after these 4 years."
I don't think it survives. I really don't.
Damn.
Look, we're going to have 20 million people in by the time this election takes place. 20 million people. That's bigger than New York State. Many of those people are people that you should not have, and we're all for everything. All men are created equal, as the expression goes. Right?
Of course.
And now today they say all men and women are
Yeah.
created equal. When
Yeah.
they wrote that, it was a slightly different time. Today, that alone is a politically incorrect statement.
Yeah, it
right?
is.
So all men and
It
women
is.
are created equal, everything. But the fact is, when you're dumping all of these criminals and all of these drug dealers, all of these people into our country, you're really hurting our country badly, and it has to be. We have to take very strong measures.
Definitely do. We definitely do. Moving to the next. Oh,
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know they were allowed to applaud.
yeah, they're allowed to applaud. You guys can keep
All
applauding.
right, that's common sense, right? It is about common sense. I mentioned that term because whether you're conservative, liberal, it's all about common sense.
It is.
You want to have good education. You want to have borders. You want to have low interest rates to be able to buy a house. You want to, so many
course.
different things. But you got to have common sense, and we're run by people. And just a little thing. When I started campaigning, almost like 8 years ago, I talked about Merry Christmas. We should have Merry Christmas again. Let's bring back Merry Christmas. You weren't allowed to say Merry Christmas. I got it back.
It's a nice crowd, huh?
Even if you're Jewish, they like to say Merry Christmas. Every one of my Jewish friends say, we love Merry Christmas.
I'm Jewish. I love Merry
Good.
Christmas.
And
too.
Kamala doesn't, though.
She doesn't like it?
She doesn't want you to use Merry Christmas.
Wow.
She thinks it's insulting to use Merry Christmas. So we'll have to work on her.
I wanted to ask you a question. Speaking of, you said something about common sense. Someone who has no common sense, Joe Biden. Do you think he was pushed out, or do you think he made the decision to step down?
No, he was not only pushed out, it was a coup. I'm telling you. They went in to see him, did badly. The debate was a disaster.
It was horrible.
Okay. I don't know if I was brilliant or if he was horrible. Maybe it was a combination.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know one thing. They were saying after I left, they said, that was one of the greatest debate performances we've ever seen. And then 2 days later, they just said he was terrible.
Right.
They never gave. They
Right.
took away the great debate performance.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, I mean, I did fine, and he is. Look, he's done tremendous. He was a terrible president. He was the worst president ever. She's, by the way, considered the most unpopular vice president we've ever had. But she's she's worse than he is. I actually think he's smarter than her, and I think he's a really not smart person. But I think he's smarter than she is. But she was convenient. She was there. They have better people. They have much better. In fact, all of the people that she's looking at are considered much better than her. These were people that were thinking about running. They would have run, except that they didn't want to go through this roadblock with her. And because you're the vice president. So they wanted to go pick him. And I think virtually every one of them is considered better, smarter, would be a better president. But we can't allow her to be president. She's going to destroy our country.
We'll ruin it. I mean, already, it's ridiculous what she's saying.
And by the way, the youth is so important because youth tends to be Democrat, and as they get older, they become Republican. That's what's happening. We can't wait 50 years. We can't. Make the move now. All of you young people, and he's got a lot of them. All I know is my kids say, Dad, you have no idea how big this interview is. I said, don't tell me that. But make the move now. Don't wait 50 years. Our country doesn't have 50 years.
That's crazy to think about. I want to ask you a question. She did a rally recently. She had a rapper speak, and then she had a rapper twerk at a rally. A rapper was twerking at a rally.
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts on that. It's crazy to me to think that it could be twerking at a rally.
Well, what Hillary did is she would go out and get Bruce Springsteen. He'd get much smaller guys. And he had a guitar, right? I don't have a guitar. but he would fill up with bass. And then he'd finish and they'd all leave. Speaking. So now, Kamala's doing the same thing because nobody wants to. Nobody.
No.
I mean, she speaks for like George. Nobody's going to want to watch her, and nobody does want to watch. Now, at least it's a little bit, but there's no value really in going and watching her. So what she did is she's gotten a couple of rappers, and they fill up the place. But what she does is a little bit different. She has them go last. That's smart. I give. So in other words, they want her to finish her speech, get the hell off the stage, and then they can listen to the
The
rap.
performance starts.
No, it's pretty.
It's kind of smart.
Hillary did. No, I give her credit.
Yeah, give it to her a little bit.
Hillary never figured that out. She'd get some star, and the star would fill up the place, and then star would leave. They would leave. Everybody would leave. And she's talking to an empty stadium. Anyway, this is a little better idea.
Yeah, I wanna move on to the fun stuff now. I think you've definitely talked about some ideas and policies, excuse me. But I want to know the fun stuff because you are a fun guy. I've heard a lot from a lot of people how cool you are. Especially Dana. Shout to Dana. I know you're watching.
Dana.
Yeah, he's the
There's
greatest.
nobody like him. I always say everybody can do it except that. This guy travels the world looking for fighters. Okay, get me fighters. He doesn't care where they from countries nobody ever heard of, and that's where he finds the best fighters. Now
Yeah.
he cannot be replaced. He's truly great at what he does.
He's the coolest. I know you're a UFC fan, right?
Yeah.
Who are like your favorite fighters?
Well, I think Khabib. I mean, how good? You know who Khabib
Of
is?
course I know Khabib.
Khabib was 29, 28 and 0, and then his father died and stuff. But I think he never lost. I don't think he ever lost a like.
Wow.
He fought many times. He never lost like a pound. And I thought he was a great. I got to meet him at a fight 2 fights ago, because I walk in with Dana. Sometimes I do this walk in.
Yeah, that's where I first met you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If I didn't get any applause, you wouldn't want me on the show. You said forget it. No, we get big applause. We walk in together.
It's crazy. Shut it down.
No, I met Khabib though, and he was very, you're the man that can stop the war, because he's talking about the war with Ukraine, Russia.
Of course.
Because he knows that his people on both sides, right? So many people dying in the war, and the whole culture has been, the cities are coming down, they're just pouring bombs, and he really, it was amazing. We weren't talking about fighting, we were talking about a different kind of fighting. And he was very concerned about that whole thing, that war. He said, you can get it stopped, and I can get it stopped. I will have that stopped before I assume it. I will, if I win the election, first thing I'm going to do is get Putin, get Zelensky, I know them both well, and get them to make a deal. Because it's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy.
It is. And that's... It's like your rallies about, huh?
I know, I like this crowd. I like it. You know what they are, though? They're people that want to see the country.
That's it.
It's people that just, they don't want to see crime.
Right.
They don't want to be mugged, because they're selfish in that respect. They prefer not being mugged, right? But they don't want other people to be mugged, beaten up, shot, and killed. In Chicago, on July 4th weekend, they had 117 people shot. Think of this, you live there. 117 people were shot, 17 died. This is in one weekend, July 4th weekend.
Wow.
I mean, nobody wants that. If you're living in Chicago, you have a good chance of, something
drop
bad
rates
happening. When
suck.
you're going to go buy a loaf of bread, and something really bad could happen. So we don't want to, and they don't want that. People behind me who I just met briefly, they're great people. But they're like other people. People don't want crime. They don't want to go to wars. They want to be able to make money. They want to be able to have a good life. They want a great education. All the things that you want, just the basic things. And we don't have that.
Really sad, honestly. And I
Well,
know...
think of this. Israel, you're Jewish. Are you a fan of Israel?
Yeah.
It would have never happened. October 7th happened if I was president. And everybody had money. Iran was broke, had no money. I wouldn't let anybody buy oil from Iran. As soon as Biden comes in, he didn't have it. He let everything happen. But Iran was totally broke. They had no money. And I wouldn't let them, nobody. China, I said, you buy oil from Iran, and you can't do business. They said, whoop ass. But I did that with everybody. And we would have had a deal 100% we would have had a deal, and there would have been no attack. There was no money left. Dan had no money. We would have made it. We would have made a fair deal. I would have loved to have made a fair deal. I'm not looking to. I just want them. They can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon. They cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. So what happens is we work very hard on that, and then he comes in and he allows everybody. China now is buying billions and billions of dollars worth. And Iran now is a very rich country. And October 7th would have never happened. It wouldn't happen because it didn't have the money to pay Hamas and Hezbollah and all of these become instruments of terror. But it didn't. And so October 7th, the recent attack on the park would have never happened. That was so graphic. So, normally you don't see that. Normally the media cuts it. They didn't have time to. It was during the day, very public. And you'd see children with their legs cut off. Those initial scenes were so horrible, where a rocket landed in a little soccer field. Just terrible. All of that stuff would have never happened. And we'll get a stop fast, by the way. We'll get a stop fast. No games.
Well, everyone that's watching, everyone behind, just know that your vote really does matter. And you guys really have a big decision coming up in November. You guys gotta really go out there and vote. Vote for the right person.
Wow, that's come in.
Cool little alley-oop there.
It's funny that you did, but now I know why you're so popular, because I've been on for years with people that really do like, and they're even fair to me and everything, but they wouldn't do what you do. They wouldn't say, vote for him. No, they're short of that. They wouldn't do, they do, and they vote for me, but they wouldn't say it. I think it's great that you say something. I think it's it's ethical, it's fair, it's smart. And if you felt that way about somebody else, that's okay too. But you have journalists today, like that one that intercepted me literally. That was like a booby trap. I walk in and she's saying, "We got to start the meeting." She didn't say, "Oh, thank you very much for being here."
No.
Just like the worst. And frankly, if I owned that network, I would fire her so fast. It was so inappropriate. And I actually, once you sort of walk out, then you put the guard up, and you actually give less information than what you would have if you did it with sugar. But she doesn't know about sugar, that one. It was sort of terrible. Became viral, #1 viral.
Yeah.
And it was the question of, I think my answer was,
They were really good.
they considered, I can't brag, but they were considered to be very good. But the level of hatred, craziness, and you don't know, is that from the head of the network? Or is that from her? But ABC, I've said for a long time, ABC is one, you have George Slopadopoulos, I don't know if you've heard.
Slopadopoulos.
You sit down, and yet to Biden, he interviews Biden. I said, there's no way that Biden can handle this guy if the guy is like normal,
Right.
like he normally is.
Yeah.
He was so nice to Biden. He asked him and then when Biden couldn't answer, which he can't answer most of the questions, he has no clue where he is.
Yeah.
Slopadopoulos is giving him the answers. He's giving the question. And isn't it true that you really don't want to see war? Isn't that true? Yeah. No, the whole thing is crazy. Anyway.
I want to real quick talk about one thing. It was super important to me when I saw it. Censorship. I don't know if you saw what Elon had posted. Elon basically showed, if you were to Google Donald Trump about a week ago, all you see is Kamala. That's all you see is Kamala. It's crazy. Google was really, really trying to push her.
So Google is really crooked. It's horrible. When they had the word assassination, there was a big moment a few weeks ago. I got whacked. I got whacked. And whether it's me or anybody else, it was a terrible thing. Terrible thing. For our country, it was terrible for everything. And when you put up the name, the word assassination, it went to Lincoln, it went to many other people, many of whom I didn't even know there was an attempted assassination. The only one that didn't happen was Trump. Think of it. And when you put up the word assassination, it also sent you to Kamala. And people were really angry. Look, something wrong with Google. I don't know if it's the people running it inside or the smaller people, so to speak, the people that are actually doing the nuts and bolts. I doubt it. It's got to come from the top. And it's so illegitimate. They have to do something about it. And I mean, the market speaks. Everybody should maybe just go off Google, not use it. There's so many other things. Watch it. But there are so many things. Now, Mark Zuckerberg called me, and he apologized. They actually had it where, AI is dangerous. It's going to be with us. It's dangerous. They actually had the Secret Service agents were very brave because when I was being shot at, 8 shots. And as soon as they heard that first gun, I did think I did a good job because I heard it. When you hear bullets, you tend to drop to the floor if you're intelligent.
Of course.
You're not intelligent. Like, I don't think Joe would have dropped to the floor. You could see.
No, I think you would have just been like, what's going on?
Hey, what's happening?
What is that?
Where are those bullets?
Is that a bird?
Oh, there they are. There they are. No, I don't think he would have dropped to the floor.
Right.
But anyway, it's when you hear this and when you see what's going on, and he called up, and there's a very iconic picture. But there's a number of them actually. But there's one in particular that was very iconic on the covers with a fist up, and the secret agents, service agents, and I know they're going through a little questioning. But let me tell you, these people were brave. Because those bullets were coming at me, and I heard them. They were whizzing over my head. I had the one here, and I went down, and they were whizzing over, and I had 7 people, maybe a lot of people, a lot of very big people on top of me within seconds, and a lot of people that I know would not have done that. Aiden, I'm telling you, when bullets are coming right over you, and you got people willing to, I asked a couple of them. They expected to die. They actually expected to die, and I understood that.
Yeah.
The other thing that happened that was amazing is within 5 seconds, the sniper, Secret Service sniper, from a much further distance, 1 bullet, and didn't know about it. Now that was a communication from a big one, and had it taken place, 10 seconds earlier, would have been good. But there was a communication. But he supposedly, I don't think he knew, and I've gone through it too. I don't think the sniper knew anything about it. He may have heard there could be a problem, but he didn't know nothing. Think of it. A thing like that happens. He went by the gun and the fire, just when the bullets come, I just fire. And he was able to see that from probably more than 300 football. And 1 bullet, and if he didn't shoot him, he would have had probably a lot of people. Probably a lot of people that he had a lot of bullets up there. He had a powerful gun and he had a lot of bullets up there, and the reason he stopped was he got hit 5 seconds. That's a pretty amazing job when you think, it's sort of a surreal experience.
Yeah.
And you could say that too. And they go years and they don't have to do that. They don't have to shoot people. And then all of a sudden they're confronted and they see somebody fight. And a lot of people wouldn't say, let's call in and find out what's going on.
Right.
His reaction time, I think, was amazing. So there was a big communication problem, and they'll get that straightened out. But the Secret Service people were very brave, and that sniper was very talented to hit a target like that from so far away.
Mr. President, I do want to say, first of all, you took a bullet. Everyone in this room, everyone watching, everyone. The reaction that you gave, no other president is going to do that. They're going to either remain, where they are. You are a brave man. You stood up and went like this, and pretty badass picture, by the way.
Well, I will say though that the audience was very brave. Also, the fans, the people, and it's much more than maggots. Although I think maggots almost everything, because it's what we talk about.
Yeah.
But all of those people, tens of thousands of people, as far as the eye could see, and then the people in the back. And those are the people you see because the cameras are focused on bleacher back with, 100 to 150. But those people never moved. And if you go to crowd, we had like a crowd control type person, said, whenever
Getting Enduring Legacy is so
bullet,
difficult.
And they know a sound. We had a lot of bullets fired. So when you think of it, plus the Secret Service, whenever a bullet's fired, everybody empties out immediately. They immediately leave and they empty out the whole stadium, and they call it a stampede, like in cattle.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get killed with stampedes. You know, they get literally
Stumped
walked
over,
They
yeah.
get, many people die in soccer stadiums. You know, but when a bullet goes off, everyone leaves. Almost every time.
Yeah.
Nobody left. And you had the man behind me. He's looking like this. He's looking. There was no fear. It was amazing. They knew that I was in trouble. They saw that. They saw the blood, because the blood, I guess you get hit in the ear. I can tell you, a lot of blood when you get hit in the ear. That's one thing we learned. We learned all these things, unfortunately. But they saw there was a big problem. Normally, when they hear that, they're all, they disperse. Nobody left. I mean, you take a look at that. Now, that was a microcosm of what was out in front of me, because the speech was being made
Yeah.
to thousands of people.
Right.
And nobody there was leaving me. It was really amazing. They knew there was a problem. And when I got up, they were confused because Secret Service was lifting me. I guess I was getting up. I'm looking for my shoes. I didn't want to go on they had stretchers and stuff. I didn't want to go on stretchers. I didn't want to do that. But it was amazing. And they were confused because you could be up, but you're not looking too good. And I felt it was important to let people know that I was okay and our country was okay, in the true sense that our country was okay. And so I did that, and the audience USA,
Yeah.
wow. It was a hell of a horrible experience, but I learned a lot about the love in this country. Think of it, a bullet goes off, everyone leaves, and his bullets gone off. They just,
Again, true hero.
they were heroes. The way they didn't move, you have to watch that group now, because that was the same as the group in front, the big group. It wasn't like, get out of here.
Yeah,
How do we do
that's
this?
true.
They
just
weren't.
stood
They
and watched.
saw I was in trouble,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to move. And many of them were standing up, and they were looking. One man in particular with a floppy hat and a black shirt, and he's looking. It's a fascinating thing to see. And when you hear crowd control people say, you can't even imagine it, that shows they love me, maybe, but for the country. And it was pretty amazing. Thank you.
So, I got you a gift. Well, a couple gifts.
Oh, good. That's good.
I'll show you another gift. I'll show you, the second gift a little bit later. But I did get you a gift, and I got you this gift because, look, you are, I feel like you constantly get beat on, but you're so strong, and you just, like I said, you live for people, and you're a hero. I wanna present to you this gift right here. Hope you like watches, Rolex.
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
Yeah. You should open it, and then show the camera.
That's a great watch, actually. Company. They're good company.
You like Rolex?
They like Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player and Arnold Palmer, all the golf guys and all the other guys. Dude, this is... Don't they have that?
They do. Really, really nice.
Oh, this is... Can I show that to the audience?
Yeah, they can see it.
I didn't know that. Now I know it. Now I know it's worth it. Well, my boys said, well, that's such a big show. I don't know what you're doing, but...
I appreciate it.
You know, I go into other shows, nobody makes a big deal about it.
I do want to say also,
Thank you very much.
shout out to Nelk boys. I know you love Nelk.
Oh, they're great.
They're the greatest.
Well, that was through Dana. You know, Dana is very much into this world. Dana's a young guy, too.
Yeah.
He's a young guy, so,
Yeah.
But Dana is into this world like he could be an 18-year-old, 20-year-old.
Yeah.
He knows more about you and the Nelk brothers and the Nelk boys, and he has been through their show. And I will tell you, got a tremendous response. Do some of these big shows, like 60 minutes. Nobody cares. You do Nelk or you, and I can already see so many people coming to hear you.
Oh wow.
They said, "Oh, I've had a lot of calls." So it's like a new wave.
Yeah.
It's a new thing. Who would think it? And sometimes television is not. I sort of feel that television will always be numbers.
Yeah.
But numbers aren't like they used to be.
No, I would say live streaming and YouTube is kind of like the new age television for younger people. So I did have some clips I wanted to react to.
Okay.
This is the fun stuff I wanted to get into. The reaction to it. Cool. This is actually acting up here. All right.
You know, I put you on Truth. So
Really?
we're doing- Yeah.
Thank you.
Truth is my voice.
Yeah.
And it's doing great.
Yeah.
Everybody should go on Truth.
Yeah.
But I will say that I put you on that we're doing the show. And the response.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so shout out to Mel, but they kind of gave me this idea. I have 2 segments I want to do.
Okay.
The first one is use one word that comes to mind to describe that person. Okay? It's a fun game.
Fine.
Let's start. All right. Who is the first picture? And we got the Elf Boys. One word.
Great.
I love that. Okay,
Really?
great. Okay.
So you're friends with them?
Yeah.
Are they competitors?
Not even, honestly. You know, every time that you know, I speak to Kyle or Steve,
Yeah,
it's just only
they're
love.
all-
They're really, really
No,
good
they're
to me.
just great.
Yeah.
But in a way, you would be competitors. But you don't.
They're more bigger on the YouTube side of things. I'm more
Right.
live, so it's a lot. It's a different
I see,
world,
so it's different.
but it's kind of like parallel.
Look at them. I mean, they're just great people. That was Dana White. He said, "You got to do them." I said, "Who are they?" I didn't know. And after I did them, it was like an explosion.
All right, let's see what we got next here. We got me.
Well, I can just tell you that one word would be outstanding. My sons told me about you, and you know, they told me about how big Dad. My Baron.
Yeah.
Said, "Dad, he's really big." I said, "Yeah, but what about else?" He said, "He's also a friend of mine." Right?
Yeah.
But big stuff, Aiden. So I just have to say, outstanding to do what you've done at a young age, and I know how old you are. You're young. You're seriously young. My suit is older.
How old's your suit?
I don't know.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's see who we got next. We got you.
Patriot.
Okay. Joe Rogan.
Interesting. He really is. He's an amazing guy. He's a very interesting.
Who we got next? Mr. White.
He's a fighter. I'll tell you, that guy, he fights. You wouldn't want to have him against you. A little bit true with all of these people that you show. And there's a good one. Elon, a genius. Truly a genius. You know, I see the rockets come down with engines, and they're coming engines. They have no wings, no nothing. That was a couple of years ago.
Right.
What is that? And I said, what was that all about? I said, well, we want to be able to save the engine, not go into the ocean and all. But he really is. He's a genius. He's also a good, very good person. You know.
Got Kanye.
So he's very competent. Let's say competent. Because he's a really nice guy, but he can get himself into trouble and he can get some other people. But you know, he's got a good heart. He does. But he's complicated. Kanye. Fake, but in all fairness, look, but she knows it. Got a thing going. It's a good thing. She's a good thing for her. But there's a certain something she's got. She's got a spark. That's pretty amazing, actually. She's got a good spark. So I'll change it. I'll say spark. She does have. It's you know, when she was running against a gentleman, Queens, and I asked his people. I said, "Are you careful?" That was going to be Speaker of the House. It was going to be him, not Nancy Pelosi. And Joe, he's a good politician, a real pro, been around for a long time, many years in Congress. And I watched it's a clip of her speaking, ranting, going crazy. And I said, is she running against you? Does he know? Oh, he's got no problem. He's got no problem. I said, is he doing any debates? No, he doesn't have to bother me. Tell him I said that he should be careful. Because I saw her. And I said, she's Evita. I called her Evita. Maybe that's the best.
Dude.
Evita Peron. I said, she's a Vita. She's in the streets screaming, shouting, going crazy, hugging people, hugging. Everybody's being hugged. I said, he better be careful. And she took him out. So I give her credit, but she's got a lot of sizzle. Well, there's a powerful man. He's a powerful man. I know him very well. I know him probably better than anybody in this country. And got to know him extremely well. We had a great relationship until COVID. COVID was a step too far. But we did very well with China. President Xi. We did very, very well with China. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars. No president took in 10 cents. I took in. And I exposed China. Look, I want China to do great, but they can't take advantage of us like they were doing for years and years. We'd lose $500 billion a year in trade, all of it. But then COVID came in, and it really, I changed, but I will have a very good relationship with him. There's no going to war with him. He doesn't want to go to war. We're not going to go to war. And we had a very good relationship, actually. He was right in this room. He came to this country, and he stayed here for days, as you remember. And we had incredible meetings, a very famous meeting in the dining room. But he loves his country, and he's very strong and very powerful and very interesting. He really does love his country. Gavin Newscomb. You spelled it. No, you spelled his last name.
He literally ruined California. Beautiful state. California is beautiful. He ruined it.
And when you're watching, he's always saying, "Oh, we're doing so great."
Right.
We're not doing great. I mean, I have holdings in California, and I own a golf course right on the ocean, right on the Pacific Ocean. Palos Verdes, so beautiful. It's a club. It's big, many acres, hundreds of acres, and it's fantastic. But California is so precious. One of the most beautiful places in terms of weather,
For sure.
in terms of everything. And they're just destroying it with crime. The crime is out of control. It's a dangerous place. And it's a shame because I like him. I got along with him great. I helped him a lot with his fires. I kept saying, why don't you do something about it first?
Yeah.
There's no reason to have that. There's no management. They have no management control over the forest. I said, you have to do things. But I got along with him great. But he has not done said. Yeah. He's turned very liberal, actually. They say he's the son of Fidel Castro. And could be. Anything's possible in this world, You're going to learn as you get older. You've seen a lot already for your age. Per age, I would say. Per year spent, you've seen as much as anybody. But Justin Trudeau is, I get along with him very well, actually, but he seems to be going very progressive. The people of Canada are not liking it. I mean, if they had a good conservative person, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But somebody that's a strong conservative would win in Canada. Canada is very unhappy about the way they've been treated as people. But I got along with them well. Now this man I really got along with well. We had Little Rocket Man, we had the red button. He said, I have a red button on my desk, and I said, no, I have a red button too, and mine's bigger than yours and mine works. And it was a really bad month and a half. He very, very tough on President Obama, very tough on everybody. It's the hermit nation. It really is. I said to him, you know Elton John? No. I said, did you ever hear the song Rocket Man? And I actually played him the song Rocket Man. I said, no, I've never. I said, you're Rocket Man. I said, no, you call me Little Rocket Man, not Rocket. But I tell you what, so we had a very nasty, people were actually worried about it. But President Obama told me that this was the single biggest Kim Jong-un, North Korea. And one day, I got a call from people that wanted to see me about him, and he wanted to meet. He did not want to meet with Obama, did not want to meet with anyone. Got tremendous nuclear capability, he does. check that closely. I got to know him very well, and I got along with him great. He's very smart. He's very strong. He's the absolute leader. You know, a lot of people say, oh, maybe he's not the leader. He's the absolute. When he's around, his people are standing up at attention. I've never seen. We were at a lunch, and we had 20 people on his side and 20 people on mine, looking at each other.
Right.
In Singapore, we had a meeting in Singapore. It's the biggest press conference I've ever had with thousands of paparazzi. I've never seen anything like it. I think people said they've never seen anything like it. I was walking in, he was walking in. We met in the middle, remember?
Yeah, of
The
course.
place just went crazy. But we got along very well. He's very, very smart. And, he's a real power. He's a real power. I think he's upset that I'm not there. Nothing would have happened with him. We would have gotten along with him fine. I was trying to get him to do, his country is, you talk about location. He's right between, think of this, Russia, China, one side, and South Korea on the other. He said, you have a great piece of real estate. You could make so much, you could have gorgeous things. I said to him, think about gorgeous condos going up on your shore. It's got a lot of ocean. It's got ocean frontage on both sides. But I got along with him great. We would have had no problem with him. Now he's getting very angry with us, and he's getting very angry with, I understand he doesn't like her. He doesn't know her, but he forms an opinion. Doesn't like her. And he thought that Biden was a stupid man, a very stupid man. He would say that, but I say the same thing, so at least we agree on something. But Biden is, they really have hurt our country. People have hurt our country. Kim Jong-un was great for as long as he was there, as long as I was there, there was going to be no problem. That I can tell you. We met in Singapore. I got to know him so well. And, I always say that we have enemies from within, and we have enemies from the outside. So he would be considered, I guess, an enemy. I think we would be absolutely fine. China, the same thing. I always say if you have a smart president, you don't have a problem. But you still will have a problem with the inside because these people are sick. They're sick. And the people from the inside, they're willing to take down our country. It's incredible. When I look at guys like Adam Shifty Schiff, he's such a bad guy, such a liar with the Russia hoax. It's a total hoax. It went on for 2.5 years, and total exoneration. Nothing to do with Russia. The opposite. I was the worst thing that ever happened to Russia because I stopped the pipeline, the Russian pipeline. It's called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2. But, it was just weird stuff. And actually putting our country in danger because you put the country in danger with another country. But getting along with these people is really, getting along with the foreign leaders, if you're smart, our country is safe. If you're stupid, and that's a problem. We have stupid people there now, and those people are very dangerous. Right now, I'm hearing there's going to be an attack tonight by Iran of Israel. They're going to be attacked tonight. I'm telling you right now. I hear it just through the same waves. There's no top secret information or anything, but I hear that Israel's going to be attacked tonight. If I were president, nobody would even be talking about that word because it wouldn't happen 100%. And it's so, but when you have Pelosi and when you have Schiff, you have all these people. When you have people like Schumer, you have all these people. These people are a danger to our country. And they get a guy like Biden in, he's just a vessel. He has no idea where the hell he is. He's their perfect
I've
vessel
opened up over
because he'll
30
do
now and haven't got
anything
one in during
that they want him
Legacy.
to do.
I'm actually quite
So
annoyed.
we really have dangerous people. They go after their political opponent, like me. Me being especially. They've used law enforcement to go after me. They've come at me with everything. We just won the big case in Florida. You saw that. That was the big case. That was the biggest of the cases. And we won that conclusively. We had a brilliant and very fair judge. If I have fair judges, I win every case. But they put you in cases where the judges are totally corrupt. Where, like in New York, where the whole legal system is actually bringing down the state and bringing down the city because the corruption's so bad. But we have to solve the problem from within. The problem on the outside, if you have somebody smart, you can handle it easily, actually. But the problem from within, we have people that truly hate our country. We have to solve that problem.
I wanna get this right with what I'm about to say because you had said something about crooked people, and I want to say I want to get this right. That's why I'm pulling on my phone. You know, the same DA, you know, Fannie Willis.
Right, Fannie Willis.
She treated you very unfairly.
She goes by the name of Fani, even though it's F-A-N-I. She wants it pronounced Fani. She's little French.
Yeah.
Little French accent. And her lover, Wade, right?
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Wade.
Would you say she's very unfair?
Well, not only to me. There are many people. She wanted to indict a senator, a couple of senators. And it didn't even, that had nothing to
Yeah.
You know, there are many people, and this has taken place in Georgia's phenomenal. Georgia's great. I love the people of Georgia. I've done great with the people of Georgia.
Yeah.
Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina. But Georgia is so good, and she's destroying it, and the governor should do something about it because, look, these are innocent people. These are patriots.
It's like, I'm just going to switch this. So I know Fannie Willis treated you very unfair. I have a friend who is currently being treated unfair by her. He's a rapper named Young Thug.
Yeah.
And I was just...
I heard.
Yeah, I just was wondering if there's a way that we can make sure he gets treated fair, that's all.
So I've heard about him, and I heard he's being treated very unfairly by her.
Yeah.
And I would tell her she's got to treat these patriots that are being all, oh, well, they're going after him. And I hear Young Thug is being treated. I heard the name.
Yeah.
I heard it from other people where they say he's being treated very unfairly.
Very unfair.
So he's got to be treated fairly.
Please. So, let's see who we got next on the we got a couple of people left.
Okay.
That's what we have. Hopefully some good ones. Cool.
So he was very good with me because when they were doing the Russia hoax, they said I did something with him in a phone call. And basically I congratulated his winning the presidency. And said some other things which turned out to be perfect, better than perfect. If he sees any corruption, please report it to the Attorney General of the United States, which we have an agreement with the country. We have actually a signed contract with them, a very important one, that because Ukraine has always been known as very corrupt. I don't know if you know that. It has been a very corrupt country. I think the people are great, but it's been very corrupt. And I said, if you find any corruption in the country, report it immediately to the Attorney General. I did say that. And it was a very good thing to say. Turned out I was 100% right in saying it. So they made up a phone call. But fortunately, the phone was essentially taped. The call was essentially, I didn't know this, but a lot of times when you're talking foreign leaders, they have tapes. Or they have stenographers. And we had two professional, really great military stenographers. So every word. So when they said I did these things, I said no, I didn't. And then I
Bro,
said, is that
come
tape?
on.
Or they have the stenographers, the answer was yes. And they got all the way down the line to impeach me. They wanted to impeach me over this phone call, a single phone call. And I knew that I had them because I had the tape or the stenographers, everything, perfect. Every word was said. And then they did the impeachment. And just before that, because I remember Nancy Pelosi was crazy, we can't impeach him. Look at what the phone call was. She saw the phone call.
Yeah.
And then they decided, well, let's do it anyway. Can you believe how bad these people are?
Horrible.
Let's do it anyway, because they had the phone call.
Yeah.
That's where Tim Scott, great guy from senator from South Carolina, he said, wait a minute, I've just read the phone call. That phone call was, he was the first one to speak up. Tim Scott of South Carolina. Then Republican senators spoke up. And they were great. I mean, you know, there was great, of course, the only one was Mitt Romney, you know, real stiff. And he couldn't get elected dog catcher right now. But although, and he actually voted, he actually only took a half a vote away, but everybody else voted for me 100%, unanimous with the Republicans. And it was fine. But what they did was they made up a call. And then when they found out that I had it essentially on tape, they looked really bad, and they had a decision to make. Do they pull it? I said, no, you shouldn't be doing this, but let's go ahead with it. I did nothing with that. So you have to be careful. So let me just say about him. So when they called him and they asked him, did President Trump say anything that was inappropriate or wrong? He said, absolutely not. It was a very nice phone. There was nothing unusual about it at all. And he could have grandstanded. Could have said that. And he didn't say that. So I respect him. I think that I will be able to make a deal with him and Vladimir Putin very quickly. Even though would have been a lot easier. Was so, and you wouldn't have a 500,000 people, or maybe much more than that. I think you're going to find that the number of people dead is far greater than what this. That's a really nasty, it's a nasty thing going on over there. But I think I will be able to get him and Putin together, and we'll get it ended. It would have never started if I were president. We had no chance of starting. You know, I knew Putin very well, know him very well, and it was the apple of his eye. Ukraine was the apple of his eye. He did love it. He did want it, but he knew he couldn't. He would not. He knew he could not. He would have never done it if I was president. And now when you look at all of the death and all of the destruction, even of their culture, because those cities are wiped to the ground. You know, most of them, outside of Kiev, most of those cities are wiped down to the ground. And it's so sad. And when those buildings come down, there are plenty of people in there. You know, people think those buildings don't have people. They have a lot of people in those buildings that don't want to leave. And those buildings come down. They're big buildings, big heavy buildings, and they come down. And the people are crushed. Instantly they're crushed. Missiles hit them.
I wanted to touch base real quick on the inflation thing. So, you know, I I saw you when you went to go speak in Nashville. Talk about crypto. You said that crypto can help that. You know, you mentioned that they're somewhat like gold. Do you think that, you know, if when you get back in office, you would still fully support crypto? And you know, I just saw that the U.S. government, ever since we spoke about it, they're selling crypto. They're selling it. So what would you do if you were in office with crypto?
It's something they shouldn't be doing, because they should try to build it. So if we don't do it, China's doing it, other places are doing it, and they're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's a very modern currency. It's a very modern form. And I know a lot of very good people that are really into that world and into that market. They're smart, they're good people, and they think it's going to be very beneficial. And remember this, though, it's very important. It's like AI. You love it, not like it. If we don't do it, China's going to do it, or other people are going to do it.
Yeah.
And we can't be left behind. And crypto is right in that sphere. And it is a form of currency. And again, China's already doing it. But if we don't do it, they're going to do it. AI is something that's really at the top of the list. And there are pros and cons to everything. But China is trying to do everything. And we've got to beat them to it.
I would love to see you and Elon, you know, get together and talk about AI together. I think it's really, really important because, you know, Elon with what he's doing, and obviously you guys have to really come together and maybe try to find some solutions for AI, because it is getting out of hand. You see a bunch of fake stuff. It's really getting crazy.
It's, you know, one thing about AI that's interesting is, and who would believe this, to really be at the top of it and to dominate, because China's very much artificial intelligence,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Even the name is sort of a weird name, because artificial intelligence sounds like, it's not really a very good name when you think about it. It's
No, it's
artificial.
not.
It says like fake intelligence, right? But regardless, so we need massive amounts of electricity to be able to compete. You know that? Electricity. And if you don't build twice the amount of electricity that the country currently has, now think of that number. You need more electricity than the country has for everything times 2. Now think. So nobody's going to be able to get that done but me. I'm the only one, because you're going to have to build power plants at every plant. You're going to have a power plant for every plant. It's all electricity based. It's amazing. You need massive amounts of electricity. In the meantime, they built 8 chargers in the Middle West for cars, because we shouldn't have, obviously, all electric. You know, they have this electric car mandate, and they don't go far. They cost a lot. They're going to be made in China. And under Biden, he wants everybody to drive an electric car. No more gas-propelled cars, no more hybrids, no more anything. Think of it, how crazy. And you can drive a car from here to Los Angeles on a tank of gas. Same thing with trucks. They want trucks to go electric. They'd have to make 6 stops to get to Los Angeles. With diesel, they don't have to make any stops, and they have left over. And the truck gets lighter as you go. You know, one of the problems with that is the weight. The weight of the batteries is so heavy. It's 2.5 times heavier than a truck with diesel. And you would have to rebuild all of your bridges all throughout the country. And I asked, the trucking industry supports me because of this. I mean, they probably like me, but they support me because of this, because they're not going to have an industry. I said, when you explain that you're going to have to rebuild all of your bridges in the country, when you explain that to the government officials that come and harass you, don't they say, oh, I see, well, then it doesn't work. Just that one thing, it doesn't work. When you explain to them that you have to stop 6 times for 4 hours a stop, and you talk about a supply chain problem, right? But I said, when you explain that to people, just tell me, do they say, oh, then we can't really do it? You know, makes sense. We can't do it.
Of course, yeah.
It's all right. You could have a child go into a meeting, and within 1 minute or 2 minutes, they would convince you that it doesn't. Maybe sometime, but I think it's essentially never going to. In my opinion, it'll never work, because you're always going to have a weight problem. You're always going to have. It's never going to be the same kind of a thing where you can drive for 2 days without stopping. It's just not going to happen. And I said, what do they say when you go in and explain this? They don't care. They say, we don't care. We want you to go electric. And one gentleman, biggest guy in the business, said to me, all my life I've been buying trucks. 50 years I've been buying trucks. And every year they got better, bigger, stronger, more beautiful. Every year for 50 years they became more efficient, more fuel efficient, better pollution control, everything. And if they make us do that, we'll go back 50 years, more than that. And the truck 50 years ago would have been better than what they're making us use right now. And I say, when you explain that, do they do anything? They sit there, they look, and they say, we don't care. That's our mandate. You have to go all electric. These people are going to destroy our country. We can't let them do it.
Horrible, horrible. Mr. President, I know you're going to be very busy. 2:15. Time would you say we have? Because I do want to give you this last gift.
Well, let's go do the last one.
Let's go do it. Let's go do it.
So far, I like the gift.
Yeah, well, you're going to like this other one too. Hold on 1 second.
Yes.
I actually closed that. Let me go full screen real quick. You go full screen on the OBS, and then you should have the live for the iron.
You,
Really, day one.
She's your biggest fan. Please get a picture with her. She's
Yes. Can I do that?
Yeah, of course.
Can I take? Come on, let's see. You
I'll take it. I got you guys.
stay right there. We're gonna take a good one.
I'll take a great one. I got to go.
I'll bet she does. She's probably tougher than I am. Have a good time, everybody. See you.
Yeah. So what's your good side? What do you like walking on? What side do you like walking on?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you look good on both sides. Yeah, it doesn't really matter at all. Thanks. Come on outside with the truck. Yeah. Just, by the way, do you like my buddy Felix's shirt?
I love that.
Felix, by the way, Mr. Trump.
Yeah, you got the grill sauce. I like that. I know. That's what I noticed. I noticed the grill. Nice to see you. Congratulations.
All right, well, you can already see the gift.
Yeah, I can. Wow.
You can't miss it.
That's an Elon.
It is an Elon.
Wow.
Shout out to Mr. Musk.
That's beautiful. Hey, that is beautiful.
Am I going to close the door really quick? Just I want to show them the wrap. Sure. Check out this wrap and let me know your honest thoughts.
I think it's incredible. I think it's incredible.
Was it fun?
So you know what they did? AI. What Google did is they took, or they let it happen. See the Secret Service agents here?
Yeah.
They're angry in there. They put smiles on their face.
Right.
You heard about that?
Yeah, no.
That's It's just terrible.
Yeah, I know. But that's how easy it is to manipulate it.
It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, it is. It's very scary. We need like a system where we can quickly fact check things and see if it's real and authentic.
Yeah, and right now they don't have that.
No, they don't. So, I know we're not going to drive anywhere, but I was wondering if you wanted to like listen to like a song in here.
Let's go.
All right, cool. This is how you open it up.
It is.
Yeah, it is. I'll get on the other side.
Okay, Aiden, so
Good? You back? You good? Oh, we're good. All right. Now this is cool. I've never even seen you in a car before.
Not too many. Look at the playlist, huh?
This is your playlist.
It's a good, yeah.
Your team picked out.
Yeah.
You want to pick a song? Let's test out this sound
so
system.
let's try it. And you know, some of the artists I like better than others, but I like the other song better, so I always start.
Who's like your top 3 artists?
Well, we love Frank Sinatra, right?
Of course.
You know, a couple that I really like, but I don't like the people, so I don't want to really mention their name. But look at this list as an example. It's such a great list. Aren't the Beatles always good?
Come on, they're the best.
Rolling Stones are always good.
Choose one. Let's
Look at that.
You,
So
you
let's
go
do-
choose what you like to choose. You
let's-
just swipe like this.
Oh yeah. That's fantastic. How about, and we like the Beach Boys. We always like the Beach Boys.
We do like the Beach
Who
Boys.
doesn't like the Beach Boys? How about if we did the following? How about thinking that it's going to come back under proper management? How about California Dreaming?
Let's do it.
Good?
All right, Elon. Let's see how good this system is. I want to say one thing. This is by far the best live stream I've ever done. I want to say thank you.
Well,
And I do want to say I do want to do a little victory dance with you.
okay.
I want to step out the car, blast the music, and dance because I just had the best stream ever. You were right. You called it right before. What did you? You called me in the room and you said, "Watch, we're gonna have the most hits ever."
I
Watch.
think you will. And do you know what the hits are yet? Do you know? Have
No.
you been able to tell?
I want to.
When will you know?
We crashed multiple times.
I think you'll crash, yeah.
I think we're
Whatever
gonna
it
see.
is.
I'm gonna get all the analytics, the real live view count, everything.
Well, you'll let me know, but I think you'll have the biggest show. You know, Nelk had by far their biggest show.
I know. And that was. I hated it when YouTube took them down.
So they had 7.5 million hits in like an hour, and then they were taken down. And I told them they'd be taken down.
And they still left it up.
They
Right.
were great. No, they left. But I said YouTube or whoever it was took them down.
Right.
And I said that would happen. And I said, so let me ask you, if that happens, are you going to fold? They said, nope. And they never did. But they were taken down. But they had 7.5 million in a very short period.
Wow, that's crazy. I just seen somebody said with all the pages, you know, all the pages, all the people live rewatching us,
Right.
we hit over 1 million. We hit over 1 million live, which is amazing.
You're going to have a lot.
Yeah.
I hope you're going to break your record by a lot. And I think you will, for whatever reason. I mean, I won't get into that. But for whatever reason, people seem to like watching. I will say it's an honor to be with you, too.
Thank you.
You're a young guy that's got an amazing. Maybe someday you'll run for president.
I don't know about that. I'll leave it to Baron maybe one day.
Barry.
But I would love to help Baron. You know, when it comes, you know, we need you back in office, man. Let's hit this dance. I also
How about this song by
Elvis. Yo, don't take that song.
You know what Don't was?
What?
He had the greatest songs of people that laugh.
I think Kamala Harris sings.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm kidding. She's not really in here.
I don't mind.
You'll still let her go? Let it fly.
You gotta save the country, but it's not gonna happen. You're not gonna be able to do it. You're not gonna be able to come close. That's great. Great to be with you.
It's great. It's great. I just wanna
What you do?
the YMCA, man.
Yeah, YMCA is
That's the best one.
Best one.
The outro out. You know what I mean?
right here.
No, I think it's this one.
I'll tell you about TikTok. Trump is going to keep TikTok going. Whereas Biden and Harris, they have no idea what it means. And all it's going to do is be good for China the other way. We're going to save TikTok. They want to destroy TikTok. So all of the people on TikTok vote for Trump.
Vote for Trump. An amazing stream. W to the chat.
Oh, is that right, Pup?
Any last
What you
words?
got there?
End the stream.
I just want to make sure you break your record. If you don't break your record,
have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love
think
you
it's
to
a
answer
very
the question
nasty
on your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I have
believe that
answered the
black voters
question.
should trust you with another
I
4
have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
For you to start off the question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition is?
That is
Give me a
literally
definition.
the word
Will you give me a definition?
DEI.
Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me, if you
I
will.
just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So, I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly, very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black
I
woman. She went to
respect
a
either
historically
one.
black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't. Because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
And
you believe that
I think
she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some
I
Republicans
really
have
don't
said?
know. I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person. You just interviewed me at length, and we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings in that.
Well, you told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion. Look, I want to talk about why you're here today. I mean, it is not lost on us how divided we are as a country. And if you were coming today, we really got to see that we are divided along the lines of race, along the lines of gender. And there is this question of, in this moment where we are, why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for. A lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
And
Mr.
they're
President,
taking the employment away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 50, 60, 70 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that. And Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history of the world. There's never been a border czar like this. She's never even essentially been. She said she was there once, but not the right part of the border. So she was a border czar. She's done a horrible job. These people are coming into our country, and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs, and frankly, they're taking union jobs. Unions are being very badly affected by all of the millions of people that are pouring into our country. And one thing, as we discussed, many of these people are coming in from mental institutions, from prisons, from jails. They're gang members in other countries. Other countries are setting loose their prisoners. They're opening up their prisons and their mental institutions, and they're taking their bad people, drug dealers, gang members, and they're bringing them into the United States. And by the way, their crime rate is going down, and our crime rate is going to be a disaster.
Mr. President, I want to get into how you address some of the issues with black communities. And I say that plural because we live in communities of color that are different. We're not all the same. We don't vote the same. We don't think the same. It's not monolithic. So as you come here today, I want to talk about something that bursts. And this is the weight of the inflation on this country right now. The nonprofit Money Management International recently released data from its mid-year analysis that we have found a 52% rise in people who are seeking counseling for being in credit debt. They're paying for food that is sky high on their credit cards, and now they can't pay that off. The credit counseling nonprofit MMI, as I said, is saying now that they've seen
It's pretty clear at this point that the global warming cult is going to force us all to drive electric vehicles, probably soon. And that means the people who've invested in these, Joe Biden's friends, are going to get really, really rich. But what does it mean for the rest of us? Electric cars and trucks. Well, for people who live in cities, it's probably not a big deal. If you're a 26-year-old marketing major who went to Wesleyan, working in Midtown, and your longest commute in a car is from Chelsea to the West Village for dinner, not a problem for you. But what if you're a man with a real job who lives outside a city? What if you use a truck to work? What happens to you? Well, Elon Musk has just come out with the Cybertruck. You've probably seen images of it on the internet or maybe seen one on the street. We thought, what is this? Well, it's clearly the future or part of the future. So we called Elon and said, hey, will you send us a Cybertruck to review? We're in a very rural area with people who use trucks for a living. Let's see what it's like. So this is the truck that I drove this morning. This is the truck I drive. It's a 1987 Chevrolet Silverado, conventional cab, 5 forward speeds, some kind of aftermarket seats, the seat belt, the dog has chewed, and it works pretty well. It's got a bed, looks like a pickup truck. There are no electronics in it. There's no air conditioning, there's no radio, and there's no way for the government to turn off my engine if I miss a beat. So that's what I drive. I like it. That is a Cybertruck. Now, I'd open up the door to the Cybertruck, but I have no idea how. That is purely electronic, and that's what we're going to review. And to review it for us, we're going to talk to Patrick Feeney. We're on his farm in western Maine, in a very rural part of Maine. He is very familiar with heavy machines. He was a diesel mechanic in the Army, right out of high school in the first Gulf War. He was a logger, running skidders. Long-haul trucker, running 18-wheelers. So he's been in machines all his life. He fixed machines. He understands machines. We're standing in front of his sawmill here on his farm where he cuts out wood, and we've given him use of the Cybertruck, or Elon has, for the last couple of weeks. And we're going to ask him a really simple question. Could you replace the truck that you drive, which is a Ford F-350, with the Cybertruck? We're going to go inside his sawmill and meet Patrick Feeney. Patrick Feeney? Like your shirt? So you've had the Cybertruck for a couple weeks.
Well, actually, technically, since Monday.
Since Monday.
Right. 1 week.
And today is Friday.
Right.
You've had a week of the Cybertruck. The question is, you're going to have a lot more time to assess it. Could it replace your F-350?
So far, yeah.
Really?
Mechanically.
Mechanically?
Mechanically, it's got all kinds of power. Of course, it's a $100,000 truck.
Yep.
So I don't know. We're going to not think about that right now.
Okay.
Because there's all kinds of carpenters at the local lumber yard with $100,000 trucks. I see them there every day.
Yep.
So that's not too much of a stretch, I don't believe. But as far as go power, I'll show you. Towing power, ease of use. It's just like when you rent a car and you can just spend the 5 minutes figuring out all the buttons.
Yep.
It's basically that easy.
Is it really?
That easy.
Okay, so let's just go through things that you do, and I happen to know because I know you, roughly what you do. I don't know everything you do during the course of the day. But I know.
Not when I go home for lunch.
No, when you go home for lunch. We live, by the way, we're standing in a place right now that is so untouched by the worst parts of modernity and so rural that people, is it fair to say, go home for lunch?
Yeah, most of the time. Or
Yep.
we just don't eat lunch and go home at like 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
we just
exactly.
Work right through
That's
it,
exactly.
Yeah.
So let's take the Cybertruck and do some of the things that you would do with your Ford on a normal day. By the way, I love your sawmill.
Oh, thank you.
Could you?
Work in progress. Yeah, the Ford. For a rural man, this is every rural man. I'm a one-truck guy. A lot of people have a work truck and a going to church truck.
Yep.
I like the one-truck theory. It's just me and my wife. She has a truck now. I just bought her a new truck. I work out of my truck. I nap in my truck. I hunt out of my truck. I tow with my truck. I do all my stuff is in my truck. Everything I need is there. So it's like a Swiss Army knife of machinery. It's really I plow with it. I plow snow, which is a huge thing, and we're gonna worry about that later with the Cybertruck, whether you can plow snow with it or not. But we basically need one vehicle that does everything.
So one of the things that you do, I know because I see you, is you take your dogs in the truck.
Yep.
Your beagles for rabbit hunting, your spaniel for bird hunting, and they kind of live in your truck also. Right. Have the dogs been in the truck?
Oh yeah, they love it. I don't think they think it's looking or anything like that.
Okay, good. Well, and you would know because if dogs think
Right.
that, you can tell.
Right.
All right. Well, let's test it out.
All right, we're gonna haul some dirt today.
Alright, I'm hopping off for a bit.